Hello there. The next clips of videos I want to show you is when I am walking around the Yosemite Lakes campground that I was staying at on my month-long camping trip. And it's the day after it snowed, so it's very pretty. And it was special for me to walk around that morning because I've just not gotten to do that very much in my life. I've lived in Southern California and Northern California most of my life, close to the coast, and really haven't spent much time in the snow. So it was really special to walk around. So I don't really run into a bear on this walk, but at one point I was scared that I might. So you'll have to see what I do when I realize that. But it was just really wonderful to walk around in that atmosphere because it kind of triggered some fond memories for me. When I was like 11, 12, 13, my mom would send us to Hawthorne Youth Camp, and that was usually up in the mountains in Big Bear because we lived in Los Angeles. This was like in the early 70s. And so we would get to go up to Hawthorne Youth Camp, and there was cabins, and it wasn't roughing it too much, but I just remember, singing around the campfire and having the s'mores and all of that. And so it was just really fun as a kid, and it just triggered a lot of fond memories. Now, mind you, I haven't camped all that much in my life. In my childhood, it was just my mom and my sister and I. And my mom took us out on maybe 2, 3 camping trips, I think. And then when I became an adult, I just didn't really have the time or the money or even the equipment. I couldn't afford to go buy all the equipment you needed. So I just didn't get to camp very much in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I just really very, very few times. I can probably count on one hand that I camped. And I also thought, wow, it's a lot of work. When you get to the campsite, there's a lot of setup to do, So that was a little bit of a deterrent as well. I started out about 5 years ago. I became really, I started watching YouTube videos about people getting out on the road and traveling more. And I got very interested in trying that lifestyle and wanting to fulfill that dream of mine to get out more in nature and travel and see places and things like that. So I got myself a little tiny, like 2-man tent. And I did a couple of camping trips in that. That was probably, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 years ago or something like that. And I really loved it. It was so fun, although that little tent was just too small for me. You had to stoop to get down into it and stoop to get out of it. It was just, and dressing in there, it was just too hard. So then I ended up getting a bigger 3-man tent, and that was so much better. And I went on a couple of camping trips in that with friends and by myself. And while that was wonderful, it was kind of hard to put it up. It was so tall. So then, I decided back in, 2022, so 2 years ago, about this time, to get a teardrop camper. And so then I got the teardrop in January of 2023. And so I've done some camping trips on that last year, but I didn't get to do as many as I would have liked because my mom, unfortunately, was diagnosed with cancer. So, I just don't have that many camping trips under my belt. And so I'm very new to all this, actually. So I'm learning as I go. I've watched a lot of, YouTube videos over the years, and I've learned a lot that way. And, each time I go out, I learn more. So it's really great. But thank you so much if you subscribed recently and for commenting and liking my videos. It's really been a boost to my spirit. So I really thank you for that. And I hope you enjoy this video. It's got a lot of pretty things to see. It was a really pretty campground. So enjoy. Oh, I forgot to tell you, actually, a camper told me that a bear was spotted actually on the outskirts of our campground. And another camper told me that she had spotted a mountain lion one night, close on the very outskirts of our campground, actually. And I read online that a mountain lion, a large mountain lion, had killed a small dog a year prior. So it was a real lesson to me to know that, gosh, these wild animals are coming in pretty close to busy campgrounds, because that was busy and a lot of people, and they're just not afraid to come around to humans. And so, lesson learned that, always bring your bear spray no matter what, because I was just walking around the campground. So I'm glad I didn't know those two facts about there being a bear and a mountain lion spotted before I went on this morning hike. But lesson learned, right? Always bring the bear spray. Okay, enjoy. So I'm walking around. Actually, I've been here a couple days and I haven't done much walking yet, so it's really beautiful. This is the Base Camp Lodge. And behind me is a bridge with some wonderful running water. I love that sound. There is some tent camping sites here as well. I'm not sure where they are, but you have different choices here at the Thousand Trails Yosemite Lakes. You can tent camp, cabin camp, or RV camp. These cabins look a little bit bigger and nicer than the ones on the other side where I'm at. I think this actually might be the tent camping side over here, according to the map. And obviously there's not a lot of tents out right now. In fact, I don't see any. But yeah, these are nice cabins. So you're 5 minutes from the entrance to Yosemite from this campground, but you've got another 40 minutes or so to get down to the Yosemite Valley floor. So about 45 minutes to get down there. And I had a plan to go today, although Sunday would not have been a great day to go because the weekends are usually more crowded. But I was anxious to get over there, and it's the day I have a day off from work, so I thought I would just go over, but obviously today is Sunday and I won't be going, so it actually is probably a blessing in disguise, because I think I'll go instead when it warms up a little more, because when you're at the Yosemite Valley, you are mostly outdoors, like exploring the waterfalls and doing the trails. And even later this week, it's going to be pretty dang chilly, like in the 50s during the day. So I don't know how much, trail hiking I'm going to want to do. We shall see. I'll have to dig around and see if I happen to have my gloves in my car. I used to keep them in my storage compartment in the back of my car, but Oh God, I love this mountain environment. I don't know if I have them there anymore. So I'm noticing I'm nice and toasty right now, but my hands are what's getting cold. So I might have to buy a pair to get me through those days where I'll be outside, mostly at Yosemite. I have a hat on right now. It's keeping my head nice and warm. I have 2 down jackets on. So everything's toasty except my hands. So these are the yurts. I guess they also have yurts. Wow. Very cool. I love the shape of them. Aren't they cool? Looks like they have, I don't know, what is that, a heater or air conditioner? I'm not sure. And they have satellite, direct TV. I don't think there's anybody staying here right now, so let's take a peek a little bit. Oh, that's nice. You got a nice little deck. Facing down to the water. Hello, pine tree. You're beautiful. Beautiful. Let me smell you. Oh yeah, you smell good. Yeah, wow. I do love the mountains. This is a winter wonderland right now. Okay, I'm kind of getting rained on here. The snow melting. Let's move out from under the trees. But yeah, that's a nice deck to have. Yeah, to think that just a few days ago I was walking and hiking in weather that was too warm. Quite the difference. Whoa! Just got snow rained on. Found a little trail that I think I can handle. It said on the sign, 0.25 in length and 23 feet elevation gain. I'm like, oh, perfect. Well, I see that the birds are out, so they managed to stay warm enough. Wow, so pretty. The moss on the trees. Oh wow. What a vibrant color green. And then against the blue sky. I'm not wearing the greatest of shoes. They're slip-on shoes, but for some reason they're keeping my feet dry so far. I can't tell you how fun this is for me. No one else is around. I have total solitude and I'm just one with nature. I don't know about you, but that makes me very happy. It's just too much beauty to film. I have a feeling this video is going to be a long one. Now let's see, it's looking pretty muddy up here. Let's see if I can pick a line to walk. So far I've managed to evade getting clomped on the head with a big snowball. I was thinking as I was driving this windy mountain road up here, there was one of those signs that warned you of, possible falling rocks coming down onto the road, and I'm like, well, I guess that's good to know, but what can you do about it? You're not going to have a whole lot of warning. It's just a matter of good timing, bad timing. Sometimes you see, a big kind of rock or even boulder. How pretty. In the road, and you think, okay, I'm glad my timing was good. I missed that one. Wow, that's magical. Oh, okay. This is the South Fork Tuolumne River. Let's just hope I don't come across a black bear. I should probably be talking louder so that the bears know I'm here. Hey bears, any potential bears? I'm here. I didn't expect to be doing this trail, so I didn't bring my bear spray, I didn't bring my whistle. Okay, doesn't do you a whole lot of good when you leave things in the rig of the car. I'm just going with the very low chance that nothing will happen. I mean, okay, did I say that right? What I'm trying to say is that the odds are in your favor, and that's something that people need to remember, myself included, that the odds are in your favor that nothing will happen. So, 95% of the time, you're safe. Just 5% of the time, you're not safe. So the odds are in your favor. So that helps my fear when I think about that and dwell on that. Okay, this must be where the trail ends, at a picnic table. Okay, I did it. 0.25. Oh, actually it looks like there's another trail called Ponderosa Loop that you can walk on. It looks pretty dang steep. I ain't doing that, certainly not in these shoes. Okay, I'm gonna head back. I wanted to talk a little bit more about fear and anxiety and nervousness, and just talk about some of my observations of the comments that I got on my video about the scary experience that I had. You get all kinds of comments, of course, from one end of the spectrum to another, so it's interesting. Some people say, oh, that wasn't too bad, and you can do it and keep going, and they're very positive, and you can manage, you can do it. And then there was the other side of the spectrum. Get a gun, it's dangerous out there, it's crazy out there, everything's crazy, everybody's crazy, get a gun. And I would say that honestly I fall somewhere in the middle. I'm very good at anticipating things that can go wrong. I should have found a career where you have to be good at forecasting bad things happening, because I'm very good at that. Almost too good. And that's why sometimes I can get paralyzed by analyzation, because I think ahead too much of things that could go wrong. I can work myself up into a frenzy about it. And so then I have to have that other thought, well, wait a second, the odds of something bad happening, like I said in the previous clip, are very small. Like as I'm walking right now, there's a lot of stuff falling off snow falling off the trees, and it could thump me on the head or it could land on the ground. And it's sort of like a illustration of how life can be, a lot of times it's just a matter of timing. But as I'm walking through, like I said, 95% of the time, nothing is hitting me on the head. So far, I've been out here for an hour. Only one time has something thunked me on the head, just a minute ago, but it wasn't that bad. So it's an analogy, I think, for the fact that most of the time we're safe. And that is something I think we need to remind ourselves of, and I need to remind myself of, and not get caught up in the fear. I was thinking about, okay, now I'm getting snow rained on. I was thinking about that other thing of how our brain works, where you can get 100 wonderful compliments from people and get one critical remark, and that is what your brain will focus on, is the one critical remark. And then we go off on that. Oh my gosh, yeah, I guess I am that way, or oh, I'm a terrible person, they're right, or how dare they criticize me, all that stuff, we can go down in a rabbit hole about that one critical comment. So it's an exercise for me as I'm reading through the comments to really try to, do some good self-talk about that, it's more of a reflection of the commenter and where they're at. And oftentimes, in psychology, they say, if there's a negative quality that you don't like in someone, it's often because it's a negative quality you don't like in yourself. And so there's a projection there of the negative quality that you believe you have. So, I have always been a very self-conscious person, a shy person, an introverted person, a person with not great confidence and self-esteem, who struggled with shame, who struggled with self-criticism. And so putting myself out there on the internet is a huge deal for me, huge. I wouldn't have been able to do this when I was younger, just no way. I could have done this when I was younger. My self-critical talk, my self-critical voice was very loud and constant. I would criticize myself. I would take in other people's criticism. I just felt a sense of shame all of the time. And I think a lot of young people feel that way. I think maybe it's hormonal, I don't know. I think it also has a lot to do with, of course, your upbringing and what kind of environment you were brought up in. But I'm pleased to see that I've done some work on myself to where I'm not letting these negative comments bother me too much. Again, I think it's more of a reflection of them rather than me. But I also am open to useful feedback. I think we need to be a little more open to useful feedback and not always reject criticism out of hand. Because a lot of times there's a kernel of truth in the criticisms. And you can learn from that. And I think we need to be open to learning and changing, evolving, and growing. So, anyways, that's what I'm thinking, is that, the odds of something bad happening are small, and it's just something I need to remind myself of, and I wouldn't go to extremes to take care of get a gun, for example. I'm not comfortable with that. But I'm going to take other precautions just in case. And I need to just focus on that fact that, our brains do tend to focus on the negative, and we need to turn that around and not give into it, So, yeah, I would say that doing this kind of life is not only a physical workout, but a mental workout, perhaps even a spiritual workout. No wonder a lot of people go out and do these really extreme, I don't know, say maybe go into the forest for a month by themselves without a tent to sort of sort things out in their minds and in their lives. It does that for you. But yeah, I think just we have to remember the odds of something happening are small, and we don't need to let it rule our lives and govern our lives. And, take prudent precautions. Like when you're driving down a mountain and it has a warning about the boulder maybe coming down on the road. I mean, what can you do? You just have to, you can't stop and turn around and go back the way you came. You just have to keep going and hope that nothing bad happens. I'm not going to let fear like that run me to the point where I'm going to stop doing what I want to do. So there's my little rant about fear and anxiety and how our brain works. I've seen a few of these arthropods around, and I like the smallness of them and the shape, but I don't like the interior for some reason on these. But I'd love to perhaps get a little trailer, similar to that. It's kind of fun to walk around these parks and see other rigs and then see what could possibly work for me. Now this looks like a tag trailer up here, and those are nice, but I can't really afford one of those. Not new anyway, but even used. I just don't want to be spending a lot of money in the beginning. In fact, the lower I can spend, the better, because I'm thinking it would be best if I could get out on the road. And first of all, see if I like it, Oh, whoa, big doggies, big doggies. And see if I like it, and then maybe upgrade to a nicer rig, because I don't want to have happen what just happened, where I spent a good money. Oh, it's the boondock. Yeah, that's cute. That's really nice. And they have their Starlink out too, but I'm not sure they're getting much of a signal. Yeah, a lot of people in the comments were saying get a dog, and that would be a good dog to get. Like these huge doggies. Oh my God. That would be great, but I don't really want that responsibility right now. Maybe I need to record a bark and then play it when I'm in danger. My sister's dog has a pretty mean sounding bark, so I ought to record Gracie's bark. And then I have a little speaker system. I can play it on that, and that could work. Big scary sounding dog. So yeah, that little trailer we just saw, the Boondock 400. Wonderful little trailer. Wish I could get one of those, but that is out of my budget. I was kind of bummed out because last week I saw a really cute trailer on Facebook Marketplace. It was 18 feet It was only $8,000. It was called a Fun Finder, and I loved the floor plan. It was so homey looking, and it had a full-size refrigerator and a huge, to my left is geese with their babies. And it had a huge freezer, which was amazing to me. I love that. Queen size bed on it. It was only $8,000, and unfortunately it was actually where I live in Sonoma County, and you know, I'm over 3 hours away, so there's no way I could go see it. So it's so rare that I see ones that I like that. So I was so bummed that the timing was so wrong. I almost entertained the idea of buying it sight unseen. But I thought, no, you can't risk that. And where are you going to store it? You're already paying a lot to store your teardrops, so wasn't meant to be. But that's what I was thinking, is like, oh, this is great. I would only spend $8,000 on a trailer that I really liked, and it was short, and I could get out on the road and try it out, you know, and see how it goes, see how I like it, see if I can handle it, see if the setup is, you know, hard. That's probably the way to go, is to check that out first. So I might do that, you know, instead of forking out a lot of money to begin with, just do something cheaper. Oh, the little baby is kind of running away, so mommy's watching. I don't know if these are the ones that were over on my side, because over on my side there were 6 babies. What do I count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder why they got a little spooked. I didn't move. The other thing I saw yesterday, right here in the park where I'm at, is somebody is renting a trailer, a small trailer, through Cruise America. I didn't know you could do that, because I haven't seen very many of those where you could rent a small trailer. So I'm thinking that might be prudent of me to rent a trailer, or rent a Class C, and see which one I like better. Because now, after this experience of buying this teardrop and spending my hard-earned money on it and finding out it's not going to work, I'm reticent to go down that road again and have that happen to me again. So, lesson learned. But I don't shame myself for it. I started to go down that road, shaming myself. Oh, you didn't do the right thing, Victoria. That wasn't smart. But I realized that a lot of people actually buy a rig, find out it doesn't work, and then they, get something else. In fact, my neighbors where I am right now, we got to talking, and that's exactly what they said happened to them. So it's common, it happens a lot. You just have to figure out what's going to work for you. But yeah, I think if it's not too expensive, it might be prudent of me to rent those first. I just don't know. I don't have a car though that can tow one of those big trailers yet. I don't, my Honda's not going to work. So I don't know. Maybe they also will rent me a car or a truck or something to tow it. I don't know. I'll have to check into it. Oh, the baby geese are so cute. They're so cute. Look at them. They're kind of a yellow-green color. Oh, they're so pretty. I don't know if you can make them out on the camera very well. Kind of blending in. It's one thing that amazes me about nature is how so many animals will blend right in, It's like wonderful camouflage that they have. Look at this one. He's standing sentry duty, watching my every move. I'm assuming that's the father. I don't know. Maybe it's the other way around. He's watching me. That geese family that's over by me started to like head towards the road, and I kind of corralled them back towards the river because I was nervous that the babies would get hurt or hit by people that don't pay attention. One of the things I'm not liking about being out on the road so far is seeing roadkill. People drive too fast, they don't pay attention. I'm just amazed. I have never ever hit anything because I'm super aware and I don't drive too fast. I drive at the speed limit or lower, typically. Anyways, I corralled that family back towards the river, and when I got a little too close, they did that hissing thing. I think their bite can hurt, so I didn't want to get too close. So this was the couple that I was talking about, and I was a little worried about them. Little babies when it was so cold the other night. But I count 6 babies, so everyone's accounted for. They're right on my campsite. So cool. And there's another family to my right. Looky those little babies. Look at them. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's springtime, so the babies are here. So adorable. Love it.